Manila Times, 13th of March 2024, India imposes standards on Chinese phone manufacturers. To control the Indian market, China has been releasing low-quality Chinese phones loaded with Chinese spyware. According to a Chinese analyst, the three requirements that the Indian government reportedly imposes on Chinese smartphone manufacturers operating in the Indian market are not actions that a market-oriented economy or a nation regulated by the rule of law would take. The Indian government, as the Economic Times of India reports, desires that Chinese smartphone manufacturers appoint Indian nationals to oversee the administration and management of domestic plants. In addition, New Delhi requests that the corporations designate Indian distributors so that their distribution structures can be localized in India. According to local media reports, Vivo will supplant its agents in certain states of India with Indian distributors beginning next month. An additional stipulation is that Chinese enterprises must employ domestic contract manufacturers. A recent Economic Times report indicates that smartphone manufacturing has commenced or is currently underway for Oppo, Vivo, and Realme in collaboration with Indian contract manufacturers. The Global Times was informed by a source with knowledge of the situation in India that Chinese smartphone manufacturers are relocating production to domestic Indian firms. As well, changing distributors to Indian firms should be feasible, said the source. According to a second industry expert, who requested anonymity, Chinese smartphone manufacturers are attempting to establish India as a significant export and production hub so that they can continue to maintain their overseas market advantage and extend their exports to neighboring countries. The insider speculated that this may explain the Indian government's confidence that these Chinese firms will comply with New Delhi's purported localization requirements. The Indian government has punished Chinese smartphone manufacturers and imposed rigorous requirements on numerous Chinese enterprises, citing accusations of money laundering and tax evasion. The Business Standard reported that in June, Chinese smartphone manufacturers were requested to appoint Indian nationals to positions such as Chief Executive Officer, Chief Operating Officer, Chief Financial Officer, and Chief Technical Officer. Localization is evident in the Indian government's assault on foreign companies, including Chinese firms. More briefly, it is a government-led defense against Chinese espionage and espionage. Lin stated that this forward-thinking strategy will ultimately bolster India's economic openness and the Modi administration's reputation for dedication to economic development.